All right. Okay, we are live, System Crash from the Death Star, and we are here with Wojtek to talk about fitness. So to start us off, what are we going to talk what stuff do you look for in a gym when you're, for people that, because clearly they've given up on their New Year's resolutions, so let's set them on the right path. So when they're starting off, what do they look after for a gym?
Okay, so that first off depends on the person. Okay, like Greg, yourself, like you decide what kind of things you want to do, right? If you're a power lifter, you're not gonna go to your local Good Life because I'm pretty sure they're gonna be screaming at you when you drop two plates with a barbell.
Yeah.
Like you got to go to a gym that's specific to your needs, right, and your wants. So it really depends on your goals. I mean, for the average person, Good Life's going to cut it, But I mean, for some people, they want to play basketball, those kind of activities.
Yeah.
Or specific type of training,
Okay.
So it really depends. I mean, it is broad as an answer, but you really have to do like your research on what you want to do. I mean, if you're just looking to lose weight and want to lift weights, YMCA, Good Life, they'll do it.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're into like a specific type of training, you gotta look elsewhere.
Yeah, because last year when we were looking for a gym, right? You remember Good Life? Weren't they so pushy? Did you find that?
Pushy. They kept bothering us.
Like we just went in there for like the free trial, right? Like maybe like 2-day free trial.
It was like what? I think it was a week actually.
Yeah, a week or something, and they were just like kept on like, basically they pushed us for like a good hour. We were there just talking to the salesperson. And then we expected to be done, like, the workout in, like, maybe an hour and a half. And he just took out an hour of our stuff, right? Yeah. And to me, that's just terrible.
So we just went for the half hour and we didn't even come back because we just didn't really want to be able
Well, see, this is how Good Life works. They're a sales-driven company.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing that makes me laugh is why are they like the top 50 companies in Canada? I mean, everyone I talk to is either offended or left like mind boggled when they get out of Good Life, Yeah. It's like, how are they even succeeding? I mean, I know there's like thousands of them now in Canada. I mean, they're everywhere. Yeah. They're like your local Timmy's now.
Yeah. In a grocery store.
In a grocery store.
Yeah, you could find them in a grocery store.
So it really sets, you have to look at it this way, like,
especially like a contract. I find that like when you have like a contract with somebody, you feel locked up. I remember going to Anytime Fitness and they wouldn't like give you a contract. They would actually like, it's almost like a pay as you go plan, right? Yeah. Which really that's what you need, because I know there's a bunch of people that if like for like New Year's resolution, they just get that 1 year gym membership and they'll like use it for maybe like 2 months and then like skip a month or whatever, and then it goes to waste.
Well, just to let you guys know, that's why I'm kind of pursuing my own kind of facility, because like just growing up and trying to get a membership somewhere, there's always these problems with these like big gyms. Yeah. Is they're always trying to like fish you into like a nasty deal that they won't let you go of. And I mean, if you want to cancel, they just give you problems, So I mean, you really have to look at all these aspects. I mean, financially, even like stress, even like for in that respect too. I mean, do you really want to get heckled when you go to a gym?
Exactly.
Do you really want that, or do you just go in and get your workout? Because I go to the Y right now. No one's ever bugged me. I take stuff from another place and I move it to there, and no one cares. I mean, they don't have the greatest equipment, but I can do whatever I want to it. Yeah. No one cares.
And I think a good aspect of a gym is to just have like people there. If like your spot, like if you're alone and you need like a spotter or whatever, if they're just there to like spot you, I think that's an okay thing to do, right? Especially if you're starting off. Yeah. Like you don't want to start off too heavy or whatever you're going to be doing, like a bench press or whatever, and then you're screwing yourself over. So, yeah. What are your thoughts?
I remember like when we were trying to find a place when we went to Good Life. How much was it? It was like $26 bi-weekly.
Yeah, something.
And we couldn't, like, if we went to have like a year subscription, we couldn't pay everything up front. We had to do it bi-weekly on a credit card, like you had to. So we stuck with Anytime Fitness. We just paid, and it was like $30.
$30 a month.
$30 a month or something. We went there. How long was it? I don't remember. How long?
I don't know. Maybe like 3 months.
3 months. So it wasn't too bad. Didn't have to use a credit card. I was just afraid that like they would still suck away from your credit card and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, this is just for anyone that's listening. I mean, do you guys remember Premier Fitness?
No, what is that? Was that a gym?
It was bought out, I think, by, I can't remember who they were bought out, but there was one.
Snap Fitness, maybe?
Not Snap. They had like a purple logo.
Oh,
They were
maybe.
called Premier Fitness, purple
Maybe.
and black. Anyhow, they were pretty big around Toronto too.
Yeah.
And there were so many horror stories. I mean, they were ranked the worst customer service based gym.
Oh.
And I mean, there was this one gentleman that was on the news, and he had a bill every month coming in, and it was worded like TSC, and he thought it was like a bank fee,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it kept coming from the gym, even after
Oh.
he canceled.
Yeah.
And for so many years, it added up to a few $1,000s, and
Jesus Christ.
he fought it.
Yeah, you
And-
have
but
to.
it took him so long. I mean, all this
Yeah.
time, you know.
Yeah.
So
Even Anytime Fitness, they called me up and they were like, "Oh, is your you've been owing us money, right?" Anytime Fitness called me.
Anytime.
Yeah, and then I was like, "What?" And then I got to the down to the bottom of it, right? I called. It's like the actual banking service that they use called me up, and they were like, "Oh, you owe us some money, right?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I go to Anytime Fitness, and they check my account, and they're like, "Oh yeah, is your name Daniel?" And I'm like, "No." And then they're like, "Oh, sorry, we screwed up the order or whatever. Like, you don't owe us anything, right?" But still, if I used a credit card to pay for it, it's gonna screw over my credit.
yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me ask you guys a question. When you go to gym, what's the number one thing on your mind?
Number one thing on my mind,
Yeah.
probably safety. To be honest,
Safety.
Safety. To be honest.
Minimize interaction with everybody. Like if I just go to the
As
gym,
far
I
as
just-
you,
Oh, yeah,
as,
and
let me
minimal
let me
people.
reword it. As far as your fitness goals,
Fitness goals, probably.
are you there like your mindset is on just achieving your goals, or is it like do you want all that stress with like heckling and all that?
Yeah, I don't want that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
'cause-
want as little people as you want.
Because as much as like how we just talked about these financial things, I mean, let's say Good Life gave you a problem, or we'll try to keep names out of this, but let's say gym gives you a problem, right?
Yeah.
You go to that gym still, right? That's gonna be in the back of your mind.
Exactly.
You don't want that. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, you go to a gym, you're like,
Especially if you see the sales representative right there, right? And you're using that whatever 2-day free, you're just be like, he's gonna stare you down for basically like the entire week.
listen to this. I'll tell you something. It's funny. This is one of my experiences, and Extreme Fitness.
Yeah.
This is what they do. When you sign up,
Mhm.
they won't give you a card, but you're allowed to go into the gym.
Yeah.
You just have to every day sign in,
Huh.
which is a little inconvenient. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't scan your card. Reason is, you need a fitness assessment.
Oh, before you actually do anything, so like you have to get like a personal trainer, or
No, you just need an assessment.
oh
They need to know where you're at.
yeah.
Now, this is a so-called fitness assessment. For a lot of people, they get caught into that,
Yeah.
But what it really is just them to demotivate you and tell you, you're this, you're that, and
You shouldn't be lifting this much.
you shouldn't do that. Your form's off. You need a personal trainer, and people
Yeah.
get hooked into it.
Yeah.
I mean, is that what you want from
Yeah.
your gym? Do you want your gym? Do you want to be known at your gym like, oh, my gym? They try to hassle me into this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty damn sure.
Yeah.
When people go to a gym, they know what they want.
Exactly. Especially if you do the research.
As much as you, even the people that don't know anything about fitness,
Yeah.
know if they want a personal trainer or not.
Yeah.
You don't need the hassle, and don't
Yeah.
make it look like it's something else.
Yeah.
Because that guy that's doing that assessment is not a personal trainer. He's a sales rep.
Mm-hmm. But you also have to look at it like, I see like a bunch of people, they really have like no form, like they're just horrible form, and they need a personal trainer, but
Well,
to an extent they're in a
here's the
denial.
thing, and this is where a lot of these so-called like commercial gyms fail at.
Providing the personal training.
Not personal training, but a person on the floor.
Oh, that would be good. Just to help you with spotting or to help you with your form to be like,
See, if I had my own place,
yeah,
I would have a full-time trainer
And just
that didn't have to have clients,
yeah.
but would assist people. I mean, he wouldn't have to take them through a whole
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
But I mean, if someone's like dying out there, which I see it all the time. I mean, and God
Yeah.
forbid you tell them
Yeah.
they're gonna give you like a thunder,
Yeah. Just they're gonna.
thorn or
Yeah, like,
Thor
oh,
coming at it, they'll kill you, right?
Yeah. If you don't go in there looking like
But-
Hulk Hogan, they're gonna be like, "What the hell are you?"
Yeah,
know
you
about?"
don't know nothing, right?
Yeah.
And that's another misconception about fitness too. But we'll get to that if
Yeah.
you want. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like that's what you want in a gym. Sadly, that's only like the big private gyms, which you gotta put up a lot of money to join.
Yeah.
And they have people like that walk around. It does exist,
Yeah.
but sadly not at commercial.
Our
gyms.
school kind of has something like that, right? Like they'll have people like those people with the orange shirts. They'll
here.
yeah.
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
help you with your spotting. They'll be like, like if you're like struggling with like your pull up or whatever, they'll be like, oh, you should try the assisted one or whatever, right? And they'll be like, oh, you're leaning too much into your bicep curl or whatever, and they'll help you with
And
that.
if you ask me, I would like that kind of gym because then I might even potentially want to hire that person as a trainer.
Yeah.
Because then I really know who they are and I know if they've helped me out, they're going to continue helping me.
That's true.
Because how do I know if I hire a trainer at some commercial gym?
Yeah.
I've never worked with them.
Yeah.
They don't even give you a free session
Yeah,
to
they-
choose. I mean, I've known a lot of people that got stuck into personal training sessions with people that don't know what they're doing and they're pushing them into things that they don't want to do. Like the whole thing about personal training is, yeah, you're a personal trainer. You know what you have to do to get that person fit, but that person has to tell you what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
If they have bad
They
knees,
need to tell you your goals.
if they have bad knees, are you going to get them doing plyometrics because
Yeah.
plyometrics is the best fat burning,
Yeah.
workout? No.
yeah.
You're going to have them go
It's
into
not
the
personalized.
hospital. Yeah, it's not
generalized.
it has to be specific to their
Yeah.
needs and wants.
Yeah, especially when you've interacted with that person before. You know that he's an accomplished fitness instructor, right?
Yeah.
Even if like the guy passed like whatever courses he needs to do, right? He still might not be at that level that you want. If you're spending who knows how much on a personal trainer, maybe like an additional $30 maybe a month or whatever.
Well, nowadays, like a session for somebody is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put a life investment into personal training,
you could.
which is ridiculous. I don't see where these companies make this money off of. So I don't like these commercial gyms now for personal trainers. I don't see a big career happening unless you're on top of that food chain.
Yeah, unless you're like
Yeah.
Jay-Z's.
Because I can't see
Personal
see
trainer.
people dishing out $90 every
Yeah.
time for a trainer.
Yeah,
It's
it's not happening.
No.
Okay, so let's move on to we kind of touched on it when we're deciding our goals. There's obviously two goals generally. There's the mass building and there's like leaning out. So like to build up muscle or to lose fat.
That's probably one of the easiest questions.
What are the distinctions?
There's no distinction.
There's no distinction?
Nothing, really.
Yeah.
In the broadest way, it's basically diet.
It's basically just
Diet.
Diet?
Let's say you train every day and you eat at a surplus, you will get bigger.
okay, and then
And if you eat less, then you will get tinier.
okay. So
Because what happens is, let's say you do a regular program, you're packing on muscle, okay? You've packed on that muscle for that whole month, right? Well, now your muscle has gone from day 1 to day 20, let's say 8, right?
yeah.
It's evolved in that respect, right? It's transformed into it uses more calories now, so that's what muscle is. It needs to maintain itself by burning fat, burning calories, all that nutrient. It's a very nutrient dense fiber in your body that needs all this stuff to keep going. So if you kind of do the same type of program but you eat more, you're gonna get bigger. Now,
And obviously for leaning out, you eat less.
you eat less, but there's a little trick of the trade, and I'll let you guys know a little bit about it. I'm gonna attempt it in probably the next 2 weeks. It's called carb cycling.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Now, carb cycling is based on, and again, I'm not a nutritionist, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I just focus on training. But I will give you a little insight on what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell anyone to go do anything like that. But carb cycling basically is, what it is, it's cycling your carbohydrate intake, right?
Are there different types? Is it sort of like
You
that?
can do it in certain ways. I mean, the most basic is having a hard carb day, next day a low carb day, and then the following day a no carb day, and then it recycles itself. But there's a bit of rules. I mean, on the carb cycling day,
Mm-hmm.
you can eat high carbs, but like literally no fat. I mean, it's impossible to do that.
And to have low insulin spikes, obviously, right? So no like white bread or.
Well, that all depends on your quality too. And that's another topic we can add to that.
Yeah.
But in general, it's basically high carbs,
Mm-hmm.
low fat, high protein.
Well, okay.
And then the next day you have a low carb meal just in the morning, right?
So for people that don't know what carbs are, what are carbs?
Carbs are basically energy.
Energy.
It's in that respect it's energy, but it's basically
like what are they found in?
it's a nutrient.
Yeah.
That's found in food. It's I mean it's used for
Prominently, like
it's
bread,
turned
right?
into glycogen or it goes into blood glucose. It goes it's uses body uses blood glucose or energy like that.
Yeah.
In that respect, again, not a dietitian or whatnot, but I'll try to explain the best way.
Yeah.
That your body uses that for energy. I mean, it's stored in your muscles,
Mm-hmm.
and excess stuff turns into fat because I mean your muscle and your liver can only hold up to 2,000 grams.
Okay.
Right? But with carb cycling, what's happening is you're trying to, like when you go to your low carb day, you have one high carb meal, low fat, and then high protein, and the rest of the day is high protein, high fat, like good fats,
Yeah.
and 0 carbs as possible. And then your low carb day, good fats, high protein, try to like eliminate all carbs. What that does for people that see all these guys that are ripped
Mm-hmm.
to shreds is it allows your body to start
Ease off the carbs? Or
not ease off, but try to use fat as the main fuel source.
Oh, that's why they're burning.
Because
Oh.
how many carbs do you really need? I mean,
Yeah.
2,000 grams, of blood glucose in your
Yeah.
body is high. I mean, and for a lot of people, they're going to be like, oh, but you need carbs to build muscle. Well, a lot of research on it, and it's been proven so many times, and it was big in the 80s, was
Protein.
bodybuilders did this,
Yeah.
and they maintained all their muscle mass. Is because your body also goes through a lot of hormonal changes.
Oh, like spikes and
Well,
whatnot.
it's not spikes. I mean, insulin sensitivity and all these things like the pH balance and all that is affected.
Mm-hmm.
Like the blood glucose levels go up and down. That's diabetes. That's a whole different topic, which I can't really get into. But that's for really people that have a really poor diet and they're constantly eating so much and then they crash. They eat so much, they crash. And that's because people eat so many carbs throughout the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Just checking.
okay, we might get kicked out.
Just run.
But you'll notice if you have a poor diet, you're constantly eating. And people like that too, they don't even track what they're eating.
Should
you
you?
know?
So you should track. Oh, like as if you were tracking like exercise, right?
Well, here's the thing about exercise and tracking and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it because it's stressful.
Yeah.
Why do you need stress in your life? You don't need your body to get that stress, and poor stress levels
Mm-hmm.
decrease your chances of getting bigger. I mean, if you're constantly thinking of, oh, I didn't get my 30 grams, I didn't get my, really?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like who cares?
It honestly, if you go to that point, your body's not going to develop.
Yeah.
It's all in the mind.
Mm.
It's all in the mind. Honestly, I mean, you can't go on a starvation diet and think it's all in your mind. I mean, then you've lost it,
Yeah.
right? But in that respect, I don't Don't do that. That's silly. I mean, no one is perfect, and your body, each person, basal metabolic rate, which is what you burn during rest, is different. You know, your furnace is different than mine or yours. You know, everybody's different. So you can't be like, okay, I'm gonna eat 3,000 calories because I weigh 180 pounds.
Just don't calculate it.
It's basically, it's all trial and error. But I mean, there is a bit of science. I mean, like carb cycling, the whole thing is basically trying to get fat cells or fat stores to be more utilized, and where do men store more.
And what foods are you eating on that carb cycle that you talked about?
Well, me, I'm paleo, right? Or primal, I should say, because
what is that?
Paleo is basically,
people don't know.
Okay, paleo diets basically consisted of what caveman would eat, right?
Yeah.
So obviously he didn't go through the drive-through at McDonald's, or he didn't get his coffee, you know.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. And I mean, the whole point of it is basically saying this. This is the whole kind of like argument that paleo people have compared to, you know, the American diet or North American diet, because we're kind of catching up to Americans, which is not that good, you know.
Yeah.
And it's basically saying that, how did we get here? How did your ancestors that had worse conditions you could imagine survive? I mean, horrendous, like, I mean, they lived in caves, you know.
Yeah.
How did they survive? You know, if your ancestor was like a 400-pound obese lady, she wouldn't get off that cliff like to go get that tiger. She would.
Where do you get that?
Yeah, exactly.
You can blame it on genetics, but at a certain point, let's be real, right?
I mean, I believe in genetics, but I think the biggest thing about genetics is genetic potential.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, genetic potential is a little different. It's like, how tall are you gonna get? I mean, okay, you can grow 6 foot now.
Yeah.
But
if
you can
compare that to like living in like a third world country to living in America or whatever, how much nutrients are you going to be getting so that you can grow that extra 2-3 inches?
Yeah, I mean, there's not that much study on growth. I mean, a little bit has been touched on with sleep, so get your sleep, people.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still, I guess, a long ways away. But basically what I mean also by genetic potential is, like for yourself, Greg, are you going to be a 400-pound massive bodybuilder? Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
But can you get to 205 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
It's more likely. I mean, you take years of training, hard work, but, you know, that's more doable. And I think at that point, that's where your body is like, you know, we've reached a very good goal. You know, you don't need to go further. And a lot of people concern themselves about, you know, oh, I can't get that big. Well, everybody's a little different, but I mean,
don't stress about it again.
Don't stress about it. I mean, if you're at let's say, we'll just make a number here.
Don't stress.
Yeah, if you're at a certain weight and you're physically active, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like yourself a lot more than where you started from.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But to go back to the paleo thing, I mean, it's just basically no gluten. So no wheat products. So basically, no agriculture. I mean, they didn't like do anything with it. But see, the thing is, American diet. The people in modern era, they'll be like, well,
we survived better, right?
Yeah,
we developed citizens.
Yeah, like
civilizations through agriculture.
Exactly, they were able to support civilization. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Well, look at it this way. Especially in North America, we work, till we're like 60?
Yeah.
And then how much of a retirement do we have? And then how long are we bedridden?
Yeah,
so really
15 to 20 years at the most.
Yeah, so what is our life expectancy really?
Yeah.
It's more like 60 years. It's not like the 70, 75, 80 years that we really think it is. I mean, if you're on your deathbed for like 15 years, is that really quality of life?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, yeah, you can get a pacemaker, you can get all these things.
To stay alive, but you're not living.
Yeah, you're not living. I mean, a lot of people would rather just, you know, go to another place at that point, you know?
That reminds me, even if they go back to Roman times, Roman or medieval times, they say their average life expectancy was maybe like 40 to 30, right?
Yeah.
But that's only because of the child death rates.
Yeah.
If they actually calculated it properly, it would have landed at least to 90 or 100 for average life expectancy,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Exactly, yeah. And then that's another thing, like in the prehistoric times, is they talked about like people, natural disasters. Those were the things, or other predators.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are the dominant species now because we got all the technology and all that, and we're destroying our planet supposedly and all that. So that makes us the most dominant. But back then, really, those people were healthy. I mean, you look at the studies on their bones. If you could find a cavity on their bone, I would give you $20.
That's true, because they didn't have synthesized sugar.
Yeah.
And even the salt that we have now, that's all synthesized, right? And I've been doing some research, and apparently the best salt for you, because salt is good for you, right?
Yeah, it gives you an extra pump in the gym.
Yeah, right? And it gives you vascularity. Is that the word? Vascularity? Yeah, anyway. Vascularity.
I live in an enemy. There you go.
An enemy.
There you go.
Apparently,
We're going to help Greg out here.
They use salt from, what's that mountain? Oh, Himalayan mountains.
Yeah.
The Himalayan mountains, the salt in there is probably like the best salt because it hasn't been like altered. It's natural, like sea salt. And that's what we should be having.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to just natural things. I mean, some natural things are not good, but but yeah, with the paleo diet, like I said, it's no gluten.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'll tell you one thing about this diet: no gluten, no dairy, and no legumes, which are like legumes or legumes, whatever you want to, however you pronunciate.
Yeah.
Basically, they're beans.
Oh, okay. So like kidney beans or
whatever. Those kind of things. Those are all kind of, well, that's a big agriculture thing. That's pretty, and refined sugars, right? Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the base of it. Yeah. Here's the funny thing. 3 of those things people have allergies or diseases from.
Exactly.
Celiac disease, which is from the gluten.
From the gluten, yeah.
Dairy intolerances.
Yeah.
To like
everybody's dairy intolerant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's the last one, guys? From legumes.
Legumes. What is
Take
that?
a wild guess. What do you think?
Something to do with fiber.
It's a big one. You can't take it to daycare.
Oh, peanut allergies.
There you go. Peanuts are not tree nuts.
Yeah.
They're actual beans.
Yeah. That makes sense. That would make sense. Yeah.
That's why they're called peanuts. They're not actual nuts. So, I mean, if you look at the records too, the first people that did agriculture were like like they were like 5 foot tall. Like they were short. They had whatever happened.
The Sumerians, right?
Yeah, whatever happened on the planet was like mind-boggling. I mean, the first time disease was known about, like big disease, problems with bones, all these things. I mean, and nutrition is a big conspiracy too. I mean, that's really true. in my like opinion, what I'm working on, and if I could ever get somebody to help me out, would be the genetic diet.
Genetic diet based off of personally?
You personally.
Oh, that would work.
Because even though I do paleo, but I technically do primal diet because I eat quinoa. Quinoa is kind of an agriculture type seed. But I like.
We'll talk about it cooking it later.
Yeah. Well, I basically use that as my carbohydrate intake. That's my predominant carbohydrate.
It's good with protein as well, right?
Yeah, it's good. Has good protein, so that'd be good on your high carb days, by the way.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Basically, with genetics, I think we're all different.
Exactly.
I mean, some people cultivated things here, some people did that, some people did this, that.
Yeah, but obviously don't have the sugar, right?
Yeah.
That's not good for anybody. There's general rules for everybody.
Yeah, there's general rules for everybody, I think.
But if you want to reach your fitness goals, you have to...
I mean, yeah, exactly. You have to... Yeah, there's a bit of rules. I mean, but with your genetics, I think that's the key to unlocking what you can have or what you can have.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be no more questions on, oh, the paleo diet's right. Oh, this diet's right, or that diet's right. Paleo's not for everyone. But I mean,
right for you.
yeah. But I mean, like, look at China for instance. You know, like what do they use as their primary?
Soy and rice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we'll get into soy, by the way.
Yeah.
For you guys that eat soy, you eat soy?
Not really.
No, not really. Well, you shouldn't. Well, here's one thing. I'll give a real swing at soy here. For one, it's got the whole estrogen.
Yeah.
That's
it
high.
produces estrogen in your body.
It's also a protein inhibitor. So anyone that wants to get big.
So what is a protein inhibitor? It just stops you from absorbing the protein?
Basically it goes into cells that are absorbing protein and it's like out the window. So you let it all out. It's like if you had a steak dinner and then you had soy after, why don't you just throw that steak out into the garbage? You just wasted all that money on that steak. It's pretty much that.
Yeah.
And also soy is not good for your thyroid, which is another producer of testosterone.
Yeah.
You know, all those things. So, I mean,
It's the most genetically modified food ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even regulated. And if you look at the demographics even, look at even the Asian population in Toronto. I mean, I don't want to be offensive here, but have you really seen like a...
You should see our last podcast.
Oh, God. But do you see a lot of Asian bodybuilders?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
And why is that? I mean, again, I'm not taking any swings at anybody, but soy is big in their, in their cuisine.
Yeah.
And then you look at Europeans. I mean, big on the dairy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they.
But if you look at the packaging of their Twinkies or whatever, look it down. It says soy right on it.
Yeah.
Using soy.
Yeah, and it's weird because like they have probably what was it? I think it's Scotland that has the highest osteoporosis rate. And what have we learned throughout our commercials on TV, which are supposedly our best source of information nowadays? I mean, you see something on TV. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. I should have read that instead of just looking at it.
Beyonce likes Pepsi?
Whoa, Pepsi's the best. Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Can't grow those thighs without Pepsi.
Here's the thing with the osteoporosis rate in Scotland. And throughout Europe, I mean, they're the biggest dairy intakes. I mean, Denmark, all those countries, high dairy intake. Huge.
Yeah.
America's not even there.
Yeah, because... And
osteoporosis, why is that? Well, there's a lot of...
look around the world, Western culture is really the only one that's drinking, like, milk regularly.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, there's a lot of research done on milk, and, I mean, a lot of it's been... protected by the dairy industry, right? But a lot of doctors that do their own research find out that when you drink milk, it's a very acidic type of
it's the
formula, right?
Exactly.
So what happens when your body is very acidic?
Yeah,
that
it
increases
rises up the pH level.
What do you need in your body to bring down that pH?
pOH.
No, you need calcium.
Is that what it is?
You need calcium to bring that down.
Because calcium's a base.
Where is that calcium going to come from? Where do you think that calcium is going to...
From the milk.
No.
It's coming from your bones.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's actually weakening.
It's actually going to weaken your bones. I mean, the study that they've shown is it does strengthen your bones at the first part.
Yeah.
But then it starts
initially
to diminish.
It's like we need that calcium back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a study out by Harvard, and they did this like 5-year study on nurses, and they had, I think it was like 50 to 500 people on one side, and one had milk throughout, and the other group didn't. The group that had milk had the most fractures. Yeah. Like a lot of wrist fractures. Because they were they were working with their hands a lot of wrist fractures, all that. And they were the ones consuming milk. I mean, that makes, I mean, the information's not all there, but it
Uh-huh.
just makes you kind of think, why is it that these places on earth that are consuming such high things that we, we believe in and we live by, the opposite's happening,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Same thing with cigarettes, really. Like in the 1950s, they were like, "Oh yeah, smoke it up,"
Exactly.
and then
Well,
banning marijuana and whatnot.
Well, here's the thing. Like with the cigarettes back then, you could smoke like 20 packs a day. You'd be fine. Now
Yeah.
it's all chemicals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had one, but
Yeah.
it's pretty. You gotta be,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
live under a rock not to notice.
Yeah.
I mean, these companies, they want you addicted. I'm pretty sure like
Yeah.
McDonald's, Timmy's, all those big companies
They
now,
want
they
you
put
addicted too.
addictives or additives
Yeah.
that make you addictive. Sorry, into their food to get you coming back. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
If you didn't have McDonald's your whole life and you ate a really nice,
You would have found it disgusting.
yeah, you'd throw up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And the only reason like fast food restaurants are really like taken off is because if you look at the social structure of our society, there's a whole bunch of people in poverty, and that all they can really afford is like.
but it's also work related too.
That's exactly.
I mean, it's 40 hours here.
Yeah.
That's like the minimum.
The biggest industries are in North America and Japan.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that
I
they're
mean-
also the highest employment.
Yeah, I've read like so many stories where in Japan like people take vacations and they don't want to, like they're told to take their vacations and they're like no, like
Yeah.
they're so glued into their job.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
It just creates like a social structure of like you have to define yourself
Yeah,
with
with
the job.
I'm pretty sure that in like 1,000 years from now, I don't think there will ever be anything called a job.
Yeah.
I mean, with how technology is moving forward with machines, I mean, you're not gonna have to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, so
It'll be Wally.
in the whole like science thing, I think humans at that point will be able to focus on not going to work, but actually discovering the universe and knowledge.
Yeah.
Nowadays we just grunt out, "Oh, I need money." Well, money is probably like the biggest terrorist.
Yeah. The only reason we want money is so that we can get to a point where we don't want money anymore.
Exactly.
We can live life.
Exactly, and that's the whole balance thing. I mean, I know we're going a little off topic here, but I mean that's also for your health too. I mean, you have all these things in life you define by your choices, right? And what you do and what will get you there, and it always involves money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, money is related to I think 98% of the crime in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just because of.
If you go to
Still-
like back in the day, knights would go, they would claim land. Well, that land,
That's the reason we have
well,
security.
people paid more land on the
Yeah.
taxes.
And then the media creates this fear with you, and then you buy more security,
yeah,
and then it increases the economy there,
yeah,
and then you're just spending more money
yeah,
so that people don't steal your money.
exactly, yeah. Well, where were we at
Yeah.
with questions?
Okay.
Sorry,
So-
we're a little off topic
Okay,
here.
so
Just
what
like-
kind of exercises would you be doing for like a mass building stuff? Would you go for high rep, low rep? I remember you talking about how powerlifting plays a role in that. What would you say?
Here's the thing too. I'll give you a little few tips here. Basically, depending on where you're at, you got to build a basic structure. It all depends how many days a week you can go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you could go 6 days a week.
Yeah.
You'd split that into 3 days and then 3 days again. All right, I would cycle it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have one day where you're doing a push.
A push. So what exercise would be in a push?
Anything that you push forward.
So-
I'll get to that.
Like a bench or whatever.
But yeah, and then you can do a pull movement, and then you can do your lower body.
Okay.
Right, on the last day of the
Third,
third, yeah?
yeah.
And then you cycle that again. As far as rep range, that always varies. I mean, you can do a high rep range and a low rep range, or you can mix it up. What I find is everyone's a little different, right? A lot of people they'll do heavy lifting, they'll get nowhere. A lot of guys can do lighter weight but keep more tension for a longer period of time, they'll gain more. It all depends. But truth be told, that when let's say you do lift heavy, your body's naturally going to have to adapt to that.
So it's going to get bigger.
It will get bigger. And that, of course, is from your eating.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll give you guys a little system.
So obviously lift higher.
Lift heavy, but I'll give you a little rep range here.
Yeah.
What I'm sticking with right now is a 10, 8, 6, 4, and 3 rep range. So it's a set of 5. So the first set is 10 reps. Second set for any exercise, really. Exercise. It's 10. First set is 10. Yeah. Second is 8. Next is 6. Next is 4. Last one's 3. What that allows you to do is you can pick a heavy. Let's say you're a guy that just can't put out those high reps constantly. What you do is you pick a high enough weight you can do for 10. Mm-hmm. You do that. Then you know 8 reps you got, which is your next set, you can go heavier because you won't be exhausted, but you got to work harder.
Yeah, and plus you get the warm up.
Yeah.
You get the pump.
So it's all based on your strength, not your endurance now.
Mm-hmm.
So you could go in that respect. Or you can just have a full-out strength day where you can do micro-ramping, which is basically you can do 6 to 8 sets.
Yeah.
You can pick, 4 or 5 exercises. It really depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
I usually, on a strength day, I'll probably do a total and this is strictly strength, I'll probably do a total of maybe 120 reps in my workout. That's it. On this one that I just mentioned before that, is probably 220, 240 reps. You'll find that
in one whole
workout.
Yeah, whole workout.
Yeah, you'll find that you're pretty much pumped.
Yeah.
You don't want to overstimulate the muscle. If you're doing that, you're gonna overtrain. And now the whole concept of I'm lifting 3 reps, I have to lift heavy. Well, here's the thing. The best heavy lifters, they go below the average that you should be lifting at. So
based on your weight, right?
If I'm gonna lift for 3 reps, and I know I can do that day, let's say 230 on an overhead press, I'm not gonna go for that. I'll probably do 220 or 210, even lower, just because I know I have stuff I can still get to.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting to 230, and then next week, where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
So you have to look at it that way. Slow progression gets you further than spiking.
Yeah.
And then you have your high reps, where for some people, it's 10 reps,
Yeah.
And you can do 3 sets. You could do 30 reps per workout. And that 10, 8, 6, 4, and 3 is roughly, I think, 22 or 24. Or 32 or 34, sorry.
Good.
Math's not good right now. Yeah, it's about 32, 34, sorry.
Yeah.
Again, the strictly strength is...
So the strength,
in total is 120.
So basically, powerlifting equals mass, right?
They both equal mass. Yeah. It's going like this. When you're lifting for 10, make sure you can lift heavy for 10.
Yeah.
You still have to fatigue. You still have to work hard. Yeah. For some people, they don't like that type of workout.
I know.
But it will get you there. Both will get you there.
I know when, you kind of have to be. You kind of have to take it to the gut when you're not doing 10, right? Let's say you can do 10 on your last working set, right? You want to go for 10, but you can only go to maybe 9. You're like, okay, that's okay, but maybe I should have just boosted up the weight so that way I can just restrict it to maybe a 5 to 6 set range, and that would have worked even better, right? Because I'm lifting heavier, even though I'm not doing the reps of 10 or whatever.
Yeah, it all varies on how where your mind is at that time. Even if you put out 5 reps with a higher weight, you achieve something, and that's the biggest goal. That's the biggest thing. And when you come out of that, for next week, you might get above that, you might not. But if you keep the thing too is people don't see weight as. Let me rephrase this. When people lift weights, if you look at their form, let's say even yourself personally, like let's say you bench 120 this week, right?
Yeah.
But next week you can't get to 121 even.
Mm-hmm.
But your 120 bench was a lot smoother,
Yeah.
more controlled. Your strength's gone up.
Yeah, because it's just because
Like you'll
even
see
your abductors or whatever that help you.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of guys. It's like a horse race. You know, I mean, here's one thing: if you want to build muscle, you want to be explosive on any of your concentric movement, which is movement that you're not resisting the weight. You're actually pushing the weight away, and the weight that's the concentric is easy. It's easier for your body
to push
to actually resist
okay.
or hold.
Yeah.
So if it's
already up there.
Yeah, if it's easy, like when you're benching, the up phase is concentric.
Yeah.
That's hard, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to be there a long time. You want to be powerful there.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're coming down,
go slow.
Go slow because it's easy. But at this phase, this is where your muscle tears.
Yeah.
Because a lot of power lifters, they can have even 5 workouts a day.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they do is they do explosive work. Now, if I'm gonna do a snatch and I lift it up
mm-hmm.
and I let it go, I've not resisted the weight. I've only concentrically lifted it.
You have to.
If you're resisting, like even for a pull, when you pull something, that's your concentric phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could do it for one. Now here's where you're building muscle. I mean, you still build muscle here, don't get me wrong, but this is where you're tearing your muscle fibers.
Okay? That's where it's resisting the actual...
The movement,
the movement.
Exactly. And that's where your muscles need to be worked harder, not less.
Mm-hmm.
And when you pull in,
you're basically using
and you
gravity.
come out like that, you're not going to get a good workout.
You're using gravity to assist you with the actual...
Exactly, yeah. So that's one point of working out, and that's to help you get bigger. Mm-hmm. Now back to rep ranges.
Yeah, for leaning out.
Generally, 10 to 12
is for leaning out, or
it's for endurance / muscle gain. 8 to 10 is strictly muscle gain. 8 to let's say 6 is power and strength,
mm-hmm.
and then anything below that is just like strictly power. Like it's just strictly power. Anything above 12, 15, it's endurance. Now you're gonna be like, well, okay, then I'm gonna do endurance or strength for everything. You can't do that for every muscle group. Every muscle group's a little different. For example, a lot of people come, or a lot of people go online or whatever, for let's say calf training even, because they can't get big calves. Like that's probably one of the biggest problems, right, on our bodies, big calves.
Yeah, like you can slim them down, right? Like you can have like a runner's calf sort of thing, where you can have like an endurance calf, where you're doing high reps on the standing leg press or whatever.
Now here's
calf raises.
Here's the little trick. Again, back to like the whole visionary thing, like how we looked at demographics, right, and what people did. Well, look at dancers. They got nice calves. They're always on their toes. You know, they're always going like this and boom, like this. So they're not really always on their toes, but they're always walking.
They're exploding with their calves.
Exactly. Look, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he came to Los Angeles for bodybuilding, or California, I should say.
California.
Yeah, this is a good country here. He basically had the crappiest calves of everybody.
Yeah.
You know, what did he do? He trained them every damn day, right? But he did it in a smart way. There's 2 big muscles on your calf. You see those that like
the bulge.
Yeah, the bulge is your gastroc. That's what we call the calf. Mm-hmm. Everything below that, the whole V look that tapers down on the leg to your heel, is your soleus.
That's on the opposite side.
Which is right here. This is your soleus.
Yeah, so on the outside of the leg.
Yeah, behind. Behind. That's your soleus, right? Mm-hmm. And it goes. It's in between the calf, right here.
Yeah.
And the bone in front, right?
Okay.
So it goes right through all the way down.
Yeah.
which I guess no one saw that, but
Yeah.
you can kind of just understand
They're
that for a second here. The way to work your soleus is in a seated position.
CA position.
Seated.
Oh, seated.
It's like a seated calf raise.
Okay.
Gastroc, your calf, is standing, or a donkey calf. So what a donkey calf raise is,
So that's the
basically you're
difference.
bent over.
Yeah.
So further stretching
that
the
on
muscle.
Pumping Iron.
You're further stretching the muscle. So that's like doing a bicep curl like this
Yeah.
to a point of this. You're getting more range of motion, right? I mean, standing calf raise is amazing too, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to go to the extreme, if you're not getting those results you want, you can try that or work them together,
Okay.
right? Here's the thing. Gastroc is a fast twitch muscle fiber. Now hold that. I know you want to ask what that is. And then there's a slow twitch fiber, which is your soleus. Two things. Fast twitch fibers, you can only work them up to like 10 reps. Other than that, you're defeating their purpose if you're going for a longer periods of time. So a fast twitch,
for explosion.
they're for explosion, strength, power, and they can accumulate a lot of muscle on fast, right? So you want to go heavy and you want to go low reps, right? 10 is, the marker. Soleus, on the other hand, have you ever seen marathon runners? They don't have bulgy calves, but they have wide legs.
Yeah.
But they have wide legs
Yeah.
because they're soleus.
Yeah.
It's constantly under tension there, so it builds. So it's an endurance muscle, right? And the only way to
High
stimulate it is high reps. I mean,
Oh, okay.
to the point where you're exhausted. I mean, 2 minutes even,
Yeah.
if you can handle that,
Yeah.
right? And you'll notice once you get off that calf machine, you're like, oh Lord. But you'll notice another thing. A few seconds later, you're fine. Because it's a fast twitch muscle fiber. Slow twitch. It recovers very quickly. I mean, after you go for like a 20-minute run, let's say you run like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then you go for like a 40-minute run. After the run, you're not dying the whole day, right? But if you had like a big workout on your upper body, yeah, you're going to be sore the whole day, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because
you've worked a fast twitch muscle fiber group. That's how you get sore, right?
Yeah. Now,
there's another part of your body that's specifically fast twitch, and that's your hamstrings. So what I do is
that's fast twitch?
Yes, it's a fast twitch muscle fiber group.
Okay.
This is a sprinter's number one weapon.
Yeah.
And you see their hamstrings. You can't even see the track when they're bending over. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah. And
you notice sprinters too. They can, if they're done with their sprinting career, they can go into a bodybuilding career. They're massive.
Yeah.
Jonathan Bailey was like, I thought he was going to the weightlifting. I didn't know what he was doing there, running.
Yeah.
So explosive movements, this fast twitch, and that's why the low rep training works. Is because when you go low, you explode
and build that muscle.
You're building fast twitch.
Oh, okay.
Because fast twitch is for low explosive movements.
Okay. This is interesting.
So if you can conceptualize that and piece these things together,
so
every bit of everything is good.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
In that respect too. I mean, it's a bit of trial and error, but if you can look at it that way, like you look at demographics too, like again, long distance runners, they're not massive. Sprinters are massive. Why is that?
Yeah,
right?
Because of the fast.
They're both runners,
mm-hmm.
right? But one's got to be more explosive than the other. I mean, sprint 20 kilometers, you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
Not even the best drugs can do that, right? But yeah, fast twitch and slow twitch, they play a very important role in developing muscle size.
Okay.
Right?
So to summarize, for mass building, you want to lift heavy, low rep with explosive fast twitch.
It's explosive power. I mean, and then you want to be controlled too.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not...
Control the negative.
Yeah, this is not like a kettlebell swing for every workout.
Yeah.
I've seen people like... I mean, there are some workouts where... I mean, cheating is also a good thing, if you guys want to get into that. Because here's the thing about cheating. let's say I have a
Arnold cheated, didn't
Yeah,
he?
let's
For
say-
bicep curls.
let's
he
say
would cheat.
let's say if I had a 90-pound barbell, right?
Yeah.
And I use my back to kind of hinge it up.
It's kind of like a composition workout.
But remember this,
You still have the negative to
the
go.
negative. You see, no one cheats on the negative because it's easier.
Yeah.
But if you put that time and effort into controlling that,
You're still working it.
you're gonna have to either cut your shirt off when you're done your workout,
Exactly.
to get out of that thing. Because you can really, you'll feel the difference in your workout if you really look at it this way. Make every rep the perfect rep. If you can put that in your mind, your workouts will be better.
Mhm.
And then back to gyms too.
Yeah.
You want to go to a gym where and yourself too, you guys, that phone thing, that can't happen.
Yeah.
Either if you listen to music or you don't,
Yeah.
that's it. Someone asks you where the washroom is,
Yeah. Just freaking
That's
go,
it.
Go to town.
go to town. Really,
Yeah.
seriously, that's where you go to work. It's you don't go to socialize. I mean, I see people like 8 guys on a bench press. I mean, what is that? Like, I mean, I'm not hacking at anybody. I mean, but if you really want to get big, I mean, there's also rest involved in weightlifting. I mean, if you're gonna go and bench press your weight and then rest for like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
you've stimulated the muscle. And now you're relaxed. You're not in a
Exactly.
stimulated
Yeah.
state. It's all stimulus too in a workout, right?
Hmm. To me, I kind of try to vary my rests because, I remember probably 2 months ago, I was doing 45 rests in my bench presses. Now I raised it up to maybe a minute 30 or whatever. Not even a minute 30, maybe a minute 5, just so that I can get that extra 20 seconds, just so that I know that I'm ready for that.
Yeah, at that point in
Heavy
time, you're getting an energy source. I'm not gonna get into it. That's replenishing,
Mhm.
right? So it's honestly the whole mind thing where I don't look at a clock. I don't determine how I feel depending on a timer. That's just ridiculous,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
If I'm dead at 30 seconds and it says to go at 30 seconds, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'll wait that extra 10 seconds and get my better,
Yeah.
I'll
Just so
push it out a lot better,
Yeah.
So
If that 10 seconds is gonna help you do that extra 2-3 reps, might as well do it.
yeah. Now, you wanted to know a bit about the pull push.
Yeah. What's the benefit? Because what we do now is, how do we divide it up? How do we divide it? We do it chest. He's like,
I don't know.
Nah.
we do chest,
I haven't been
back,
following
bicep.
anything.
legs, and then maybe shoulders or whatnot, right? What's the benefit?
Okay, here's the benefit.
And I noticed, did you have a cardio day in that,
Well,
or is that a pre-workout thing?
we'll say
Yeah.
something a bit about
Yeah.
cardio. I think cardio is important. It's very important for the heart. That's the number one thing. Other than that, it's not important. Because look
For
at it this way. Look at it this way. Who needs cardio? Cardio is a sport-specific movement.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
How about for a pre-workout thing? Because I just do maybe 5 minutes just to warm up. Is that, or
that's another thing.
I was
about-
debating that versus maybe doing some pull-ups or something.
So if you're gonna do a bench press, is running gonna warm up your arms?
No, not really.
No. So basically, the prerequisite, I should say, for a push day, which you're gonna be doing a bench press, for example, is doing something modified to that. Obviously, you're not gonna get under the bar and warm up with 200 pounds.
Yeah.
What you could simply do is do a wall push-up.
Mhm.
You can take a medicine ball, whip it at a wall,
Yeah.
right? Here's another thing, stretching. How long do you stretch for? Well, what do you use stretching for?
Honestly, I don't do
One word.
for sports. Yeah.
Do you use it to relax or
No.
to recover?
To relax.
Yourself?
I just do it just to prepare.
Prepare. Okay. Relax was the big word there. If you're going for a big workout and you're relaxed, your muscles are relaxed, and you get under that bar, you're going to do a lot of damage to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't want your muscles
Like to be loose.
you don't want them understimulated.
Yeah.
Basically, when you press a weight, you want to be fully contractile, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And stretching does the opposite to that. That's good after a workout. I mean, it's good for recovery, relax and all that stuff. It's good. So if you want to stretch, you can do a dynamic stretch, which is movements like,
like squats.
dynamic movements like going like
Yeah.
this. You can do the regular stretches, but hold them for 10 seconds.
Yeah. Or else I heard that you could tear the muscle like that. Well, not to like damage it.
Well,
Not that crazy.
just go to point of tension. Don't go any further than that.
Yeah.
Your body will not tear. I mean, the only time you'll tear is if you have an excessive weight under a load that you can't handle.
Yeah.
Right? If that's like if someone fell on your ankle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So basically for warming up, do movements that are appropriate for what you're doing. So if you're going to do a pull day, you can take a band that weighs 15 pounds, tie it against the pole, and just do a few.
Yeah.
Right? Relax. You can do some bicep curls. You'll notice your workout's a lot better.
Yeah.
Because listen to this. There was a study I was reading. If you don't warm up, when do you feel your workout? Usually not at the beginning. It takes about 15 minutes for your body to get a stimulant.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're like, oh, this is a good workout. This is getting good.
Yeah.
But for the first 15 minutes, you're like, oh, I got to do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
So
if you
tired.
Yeah, if you do that before the workout, specific again, you're having a better workout.
You're gonna peak at.
Now, I
the
said,
whole thing.
yeah, exactly. And I said running was good for your lower body. Well, it is, but if you're going to do a leg day, what are you doing? You're doing squatting, leg press, right? All those fun things. Why don't you do body squats? Why don't you do kind of like crab walk where you're in a squat position walking?
Also working out the core.
Yeah. And let's say, sprinter kicks where you're lifting your heel up and so forth. Those kind of dynamic movements will get you more prepared mentally, like that whole mental thing connection with your muscles.
With your body, yeah.
Yeah.
I find that to be true.
Yeah, you'll be more stimulated than if you just ran on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Or stretched.
Because you're really absent-minded when you're running, you know what I mean? Like, you don't feel connected with your body anymore. You're just kind of, like, going through the motion.
Yeah, a lot of people, and that's, like, the biggest, like, thing with fitness is we've been given so much false information from bodybuilders. Like, biggest thing that people look up to is bodybuilders.
Mm-hmm, for fitness, yeah.
Bodybuilders are probably the most unfit people in the world. I could probably count a few obese people that are healthier.
Why is that?
Why is that? Well, if you're a bodybuilder, you pretty much eat a lot of crap. Most of them. Steroid abuse, drug abuse. They get issues with their body fat percentages.
Mm-hmm. Don't they also? You told me about this. They eat something before.
Before they show off their body or whatever, they like pack on sugars. They get a lot of like candy and like so their veins pop out.
Yeah, see, I'm not in the field of that, so
I'm not either. I don't know.
So
anything,
there's
but
probably there's probably trade secrets that they use that people swear by.
Yeah.
And again, that's another thing. This problem is like there's a lot of trainers that oppose like guys like Joe Weidler and stuff like that had Arnold on his side, and even Arnold admitted to steroid use.
Yeah, you basically.
I mean, yeah, he was a genetic freak, and that's what's going to get you to the top. But these genetic freaks also use steroids.
Yeah.
So they're doing double damage now, and that's why they get so big, right? But a lot of youth in even the States are taking 15 times steroids, and they can't even get big.
It's because
it's just so much abuse. and misinformation about fitness that is horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
the bodybuilders out there are just, I mean, they're doing everything right for themselves, but misinforming people. I mean, if those bodybuilders could do half the programs that were ever written on in the magazines, it'd just be a whole different world. I mean, these guys are putting out like 600 rep workouts sometimes. Like, it's just ridiculous, you know? And people swear by them, and they leave the gym feeling like crap.
Exactly, because like really, you're not doing anything. Like you don't even feel like you have a pump, really.
Yeah. So, and that's where like that 240, like if you're starting out 220, 240 reps in your workout is ideal. That will give you a good pump.
Yeah.
That will. Whew.
240.
Yeah, reps. Like that will do you good. So
like within a whole day, obviously.
I'll give you a specific program. Like just right now, just a example.
Yeah.
For a press day, what do you start off with? Okay, let's do an overhead press.
Okay.
First workout. Let's do next one. We'll do an incline press. So we're working from up.
Yeah.
To we're basically working like a claw.
Is that going to be shoulders, really?
An overhead press is the bars in front of you.
Yeah.
So you're getting pectoral work, your chest, but your clavicular, which is the upper chest. There's two parts to your chest.
Yeah.
The upper part separates from the lower, right? This is a little tinier than the lower part, but when you push, as you can see, my chest is still being used, right? But if you go behind the neck, it's just predominantly shoulder work. I mean, this is all eliminated basically. Yeah. So you'd start off with an overhead press, right? Yeah. So in a press movement, again, you're predominantly using your front of your deltoid here, your anterior deltoid, your triceps, and your chest. That's it. There's no bicep work. I mean, guys they're like, oh, I had this big bicep workout. What did you do? I did a bench press. Yeah. Did you really feel your biceps? Yeah. Yeah. Misinformation. Again,
your arms
I don't know where people are getting information from. It's scary. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a few kids on the internet that are writing these things.
The forums.
Yeah, exactly. So you do an overhead press. It's very simple. An incline press. And for what I mean by overhead press, you can do with dumbbells if you feel like. I mean, dumbbells is a more natural movement, right? Yeah. Because the bar locks you into a certain hold, right? Yeah. So if you have shoulder problems,
I prefer the dumbbells.
You could do dumbbells, right?
Yeah.
You can go from there, incline. Then you can do a flat bench, and then dips. So you've gone from here, to incline, straight, and then dips here in this position. Yeah. 4 workouts. 4 exercises, sorry. 10, 8, 18, you got 24, 28, 31 reps. So 3, 6, 9, 124 reps for your upper body press, chest area, right? Yeah. Then what you can do is you can do isolation work.
For your triceps?
Triceps, right? Yeah. You can do a bar press down, rope press down, supinated grip press down. Oh yeah. Anything of that, whatever is, there's millions of options, right? You can do 1 arm, 2 arm, whatever. So you can do the same rep range. Once you're done, it's 248
yeah,
roughly.
248. That's.
When you're done that, you tell me how you feel.
You're gold. Yeah.
You're gold.
Yeah.
And especially if you start eating properly, you're gold.
What did we do today? Just so.
Shit. Decline.
We did incline, decline. That's basically for the chest, and then we did maybe some tricep pull down. That's about it. That's it. Yeah, we did it maybe like an hour or so. Yeah, but like
half an hour.
Yeah.
So I think too, a workout should be about just an hour. Yeah. I would give you the proper stimulus. I mean, these guys like in Arnold's age, Arnold's training like
2-3 hours,
85 hours a day. I mean, there's not even 85 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So, again, like, I've tried his workout too. I left the gym feeling
I needed a lot of supersets, right?
Just a lot of sets. That's I read. Like it was, I needed an ambulance.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel good. That's what you want from a workout, really.
And the
to feel good.
guy that opposed Wheatler and talks a lot of trash, and he had in his book Charles Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about like this 200, 240 around there rep range that should be in a workout that you will find to be like your best pump, your best results.
Yeah.
Right? So you just stick with that. And then, okay, we can do a pull day.
Mm-hmm.
So you've done your press day. So why does press and pull work? Well, on your pull day, you're going to work
biceps.
You're
the
gonna
opposite.
Everything opposite. You're not touching any of those muscles that you used the previous day.
Yeah.
Allowing them to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you do a pull day. I mean, you could do anything. Chin up, pull up.
Yeah. Back.
Like seated row, one arm row.
So it's basically like a back and bicep day sort of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's so simple,
Mm-hmm.
but yet not thought of a lot. And then you go to your legs.
Yeah. And how about for stuff like delts, like just to focus on your delts and your.
Well, I'll squeeze in shoulders into my pull day.
Oh, okay.
And I'll do I'll do no pressing movements though. I mean, you'll work your shoulders on any press movement.
Yeah.
But I basically do abduction work, face pulls. It's also abduction work. What's that one? Upright row.
Yeah.
Anything like that to get my shoulders stimulated. And on your pull day, an upright row works your biceps as well because you're doing elbow flexion here, right? So there's no triceps involved on that day. So,
and in your cycle, are you including a cardio day, like just cardio, or even a rest day? Do you have a rest day?
Me specifically, I never rest because I follow a certain program that I don't need rest.
Yeah.
Specifically because on one of my leg days, I'll do a quad dominant workout, and then back to my press pull.
Yeah, so you're rested for. Yeah.
Exactly, and then the next leg day I do a hamstring dominant day.
Oh.
Because your quads need
a
longer time to heal.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
And your hamstrings needs a bit of time to heal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people do squat a lot in the week, but I think that if you do more quality than quantity, you'll see better gains.
Okay. So now that we've talked about what workouts we're going to do, right? When people are starting off, they usually decide, okay, what protein am I going to stock up on? What stacks am I going to have? What supplements am I going to have?
Again, like do you have any kind of protein supplement? No.
Yeah, I use whey protein, omega-3s, and like a multivitamin. That's about it.
And are you happy with what you bought?
To be honest, not really. Like, I don't feel any different. I put the protein in like some of my foods and stuff, like maybe like an oatmeal or something, just to like get the protein in. But especially the whey protein, I don't know. It's just not that great.
Let me give you a little story called the blender. If you ever go out and buy a blender, they'll tell you one thing. What do you think that one thing is about the food that you're going to be, or sorry, the juicer. Sorry,
juicers.
Let me read. I had blender in mind, but let's say juicer. The food that you juice, what do you think they're going to tell you once you juice it?
Oh, it takes out the seeds or whatever stuff you don't need, apparently.
That's your guess? What's your guess?
Oh, that's a guess. Oh, I really don't know.
You don't know, eh? Okay, that's his guess. That's closer than yours. They'll say this, that whatever you juiced does not last that long.
What do you
Usually
mean?
just about 24 hours.
Oh, compared to like a banana or like an apple that would have lasted maybe like a week.
Well, the reason why bananas and apple, because they're in their natural state. I mean, that's their natural skin that they're in. Once you juice that product, you only have so much time to drink. It's about 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Some juicers will help, it's about a day. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you're telling me
oxidation.
You got
Back to the grade 12 chemistry.
You got protein in a tub that expires in like 2 years.
Yeah. It's like
It's gonna be so your body's gonna absorb that properly.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
I rather eat meat and my veggies or whatever I'm eating, and let my body absorb that, than some whey protein or yada yada.
It's true, but
because look at it this way: if you can't keep the vitamins or minerals in something naturally that you just made, what do they have to do unnaturally to make that stay for so long?
And then you think you can absorb it, you can't absorb it.
It's
right?
Supplements is like, I'm pretty sure if you're starting out fitness and you buy a supplement like those pump ones that people buy, and then you buy like a
creatine or a casein.
Like creatine and all that, and then you get your protein, you put that all in, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. You drink that, you're like, whoa. Listen, your mind was already set to go.
Yeah.
The only roadblock was because a lot of people in fitness believe you need some kind of nutrition, and people, excuse my French, are bought on the bullshit of these supplement companies. And the thing surrounding bodybuilders is it's all steroid use. There's no nutrition in that, really. Yeah. And they don't ever give you nutrition advice. They give you supplement advice.
They show on the advertisement some guy tweaked on steroids, and they're advertising protein or whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's so undermining. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So
I don't think protein does that.
So that even goes to vitamins that you take.
Mm-hmm.
This,
like,
you're telling me
for
this
multivitamins?
You're telling me this capsule here has an expiry date and it's supposed to give me all the nutrition possible.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna be absorbing it. Sure, it'll.
Listen to this. That's even goes for the juice that you buy at the local store, like your Oasis, like 100% orange juice. Do you know what they do to that juice?
They put sugar in it? For one thing.
I wish they did. That would be a natural preservative.
Yeah. I
mean, you get like a sugar high, but you still get something. Listen, they add so much chemicals into that to keep it at 100% orange juice.
Yeah. To keep it at, because it'll expire.
Listen, advertising, it's all in the words. 100%, yeah. It's great that it's 100%. But what else is in it? I mean, that's like the big trend now. Like, I mean, who was the guy that I don't know his name, but he was a tennis player that said he got off gluten and started playing a lot better?
I don't know. Let's say Nadal. We don't know him, but let's say Nadal.
Anyhow, not important, but in the sense that he said he was off gluten and he said, oh, I'm playing a lot better. Well, what happens? A lot of companies go on gluten-free products.
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever read some of these gluten-free products, I mean, they contain the world except gluten.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ate that thing, I think you'd be like Smokey coming out of your ass. I mean,
I don't have
like
gluten
Smokey the Dragon or whatever. Like, you'd have a fire out of your ass. Like, I mean, there's stuff in there that like I can't even pronounce. I mean,
exactly.
I feel stupid reading it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at it that way. So supplements, really, probably the only one I would take is fish oil.
Fish oil? Yeah, I have omega-3 fish oil pills.
That's good for.
Is it? I think it's overall fitness.
I don't know. I'm asking what's it good for.
What fish oil is good for? It helps with obviously brain development because of the fatty acids, right? Good fats, omega-3s, omega-6s. Also, it's good for like muscle recovery too, right?
Oh, really?
Because obviously it's a fat, right? So fats are vital for muscle building, right? That's another thing that people have a misconception with. Like, again, back to the dieting thing when we talk about carb cycling, is like when people want to carb cycle. Sorry, I should say, like, sorry, I'm going everywhere. When people want to diet, they're like, what's the big thing that makes me fat? Oh, it's fat. Well, get this. 2 years ago, there was someone in Hollywood. They did like a no-fat diet. Well, what are your organs made out of?
Fat.
Yes.
Predominantly fat,
Uh-huh.
and these fats are healthy fats. Well, they ended up getting a heart attack and dying. I
Yeah.
think they died. I can't
Because
remember who they were.
If your body's not,
That kind of sounds familiar.
who said that?
It was a female.
She died.
Yeah, she died because
How many years ago?
Oh, I know. who
about
you're
2
talking
years
about.
ago, blonde, I think. Anyhow,
Yeah.
just saying, like, again, more misconceptions about fitness. You know,
Yeah.
and it's so unfair to people. I mean, a supplement company.
Because the fats have to come from somewhere, right? And if they're not bringing the energy from the fats, they're gonna choose something else. They're gonna choose your.
Yeah,
Liver.
if I was ever to diet, like in the sense of like trying to eliminate body fat, I would go to carb cycling. I would recommend anyone to research it.
Yeah.
I think it's the safest way to untap those fat stores that you just can't get rid of.
Yeah.
And if you do want that 8-pack, like, I mean, it's for everybody. I think everybody can get that 6-pack. I mean, I've had an 8-pack once in my life when I played soccer.
Oh, because
I
of
mean,
all the running.
all the running. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. I mean, at one point, your body just has to use those fat stores there.
Yeah.
But mind you, I wasn't at a physique where, I
Yeah.
could,
Yeah.
say that I was
You were
a
leaned out.
bodybuilder. I was leaned out, right? And I've had it a few other times, 2 other times in my life, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, I retain too much fat,
Mm-hmm.
right? To be at a place where, I want to be, right? And that goes in the sense that, like, maybe some things that people do make sense, and I think carb cycling is the key.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much success with it. So it's for anyone to try it, really.
And you talked about carb cycling. So, in that diet, how many meals per day are you eating?
It's usually about 5. I mean, it's every 3 hours you're eating and 30 minutes before you wake up. So, like, you don't want to eat.
And it's specific to the person as well, right? Like we talked about, like the same thing with exercise, it's specific to the person and their goals.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I mean, for me, if I was to carb cycle, it would probably take me a longer process, to get to my state, because I'm still going to eat a lot of food, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to try to...
Because you want to.
yeah, I still want to gain weight.
Yeah.
But again, my theory for this would be that you're more tuned to burn off fat stores now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at one point I'll taper off, basically, right? But if you read more about it, they talk about, well, if you're not getting any gains, in the sense that you're losing fat in that specific area, then to make your meals a little smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your calorie intake is too high.
And how far should you space those meals? Like how many?
Every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours? Is
Yeah.
like even for mass or leaning out?
Even for mass, I mean...
And you shouldn't be having like huge meals either, right?
Here's another thing that really kills me with... have you tried bulking ever? Have you tried bulking?
Sure.
Or ever thought that you were bulking, or
Yeah.
even that, I'm gonna get bigger? Well, here's
Have
the
that
thing.
extra cheeseburger. I'm bulking now.
Here's the thing with bulking. The male makeup of the human body basically works like this. If you're around like 10 to 14% body fat, it's roughly around there, 10 to 13, that is your ideal, like, hormonal,
Yeah.
active body weight. I mean, at 10%, you're pretty lean.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Even for women.
Oh, women?
I think they go-
Women's body fat is a little higher. They're
Yeah.
around like 17, 18,
Yeah.
around even 19.
Because I think if they go below 10, they start like missing periods and stuff like.
Yeah, that's
menstruation cycles.
yeah, they're a lot higher because their
They have to maintain.
their genetic makeup, and because of certain
They have to produce babies.
yeah, and they have certain things we don't,
Yeah.
right? But at that point on the male body, your testosterone's the highest level. So if you eat a lot of food and you're gaining all this belly weight,
Yeah. Sure, you're bigger.
yeah, you're getting bigger in certain spots, but most of that weight is fat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not muscle. Because the bigger you get, and you'll notice this with obese people, the problem why they can't burn anything off is because they have a very low muscle mass ratio. It's because it's a lot harder to build muscle when you're big because the hormonal balance is off.
Yeah, you're not getting that testosterone in you. You're not getting those proteins to be absorbed.
Exactly. And like, if you're gonna bulk up, and you're gonna be like, oh, you know, I'm 240 pounds, and then you go on a slimming diet, you're gonna be back to 180.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you've lost everything that you thought you gained, but you really didn't gain.
Yeah.
So if you stick at a certain level,
the slimming diet just becomes like you're losing all that garbage.
Yeah. So I would rather stay at a progressive state.
So
I would
bulk clean.
Culk.
Culk?
You culk.
What
Clean
is it?
bulking.
Clean bulking. Yeah.
It's basically, it's like in fitness, what it's called overload. You're obviously overload is basically to try to put more weight on your body each time.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with eating. You're not gonna get bigger staying at a 3,000 calorie diet for the rest of your life, right? You're gonna taper off. But what you can do with diet is, you're not gonna have like, go out to McDonald's right now and be like, oh, well, let's get big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have the whole menu times 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have that all in one sitting.
Yeah.
You're what you want to do is, throughout the week, you're gonna have your meals, right? What you would originally have, and you'd feel good. Like you feel good, but you feel to that point where you're satisfied, but you feel like you have extra energy. You feel like you've gotten a little bigger. Like, I mean, in the sense that when you eat, you don't feel like you're malnourished, low energy.
Mm-hmm.
So the next week, you're going to find a meal in there where you add something little, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something extra. Maybe it might go through each meal.
Yeah. And
throughout the week, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need water. And basically, you keep going throughout each week, through the month, and you keep adding more, right? That's what's going to get you there.
Okay.
So you don't want to do...
It's kind of like working out. Like if you want to increase your maximum, add that extra 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Add that extra...
Yeah, 2.5, you're not really going to strive for like 20 pounds. You won't get there, right? And the cool thing about working out is you'll notice if you do it properly, if anyone can follow that, you know, that just that little bit of thing I said, like with the rep range, kind of like just the exercise, keeping it at 8 maybe even.
Approach your diet the same way.
Yeah, and you'll notice again when you work out, you're gonna need more each time.
Yeah, so it's gonna naturally.
If you naturally do that, you should come out of a workout feeling alert, respected,
and feel good about yourself.
Feel good.
Yeah, feel good about yourself.
And I think if you're new to working out, you should only be sore for the first 4 days.
Yeah.
And never again.
Exactly.
If you eat properly. Soreness is not...
Yeah,
it's not a sign that, oh, I had the best workout of my life. It's called delayed onset muscle soreness. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a sign to overtraining.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And going back to that supplement thing, you talked about how you really shouldn't be eating that supplement that's meant to last for like 20 years or whatnot.
Yeah.
But how about people that, like, for convenience, right? What do you think people should be eating for that convenient protein in their diet rather than like, because like you can't have a steak dinner after every workout, right?
Yeah, you can't. But like, what you can do is prep your meals. First off, if you're really serious,
like the Sunday or whatever.
I think it's like this. If you're gonna choose to do something, that's gonna be the thing that you're gonna do. It doesn't work the other way. If you want to be healthier, that has to be first. Not your job.
Yeah.
Not your Facebook time.
Yeah.
Working out.
Exactly.
And I say it like that because if you can do that, then you're gonna get there. It's a lot harder to get there if you got Xbox on your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, your body's not gonna leave and your head's gonna stay there. You're gonna watch TV.
You kind of have to have that connection with your body.
Exactly. I honestly think, unless you're like a lawyer or like some chef,
Yeah.
that has to work like 3 billion years in 1 week,
Yeah.
that you can do it.
Yeah.
I think there's a point in your life that you have to make that decision where,
Which is
if
to prioritize.
Yeah, if there's something that you can't do that you love,
Mm-hmm.
think what you're doing.
Yeah.
Seriously, think about what you're doing.
If you're gonna put your health in jeopardy,
Yeah,
because of
I mean,
whatever.
it goes back to that that longevity thing. Like, once you're 50, and I'll go to the paleo thing too.
Yeah.
The one reason why this guy, the book that I read was by Rob Wolf.
Okay.
The one thing that he talked about was this: his parents every day would complain, "Oh, you're gonna feel like crap when you're at our age.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to die right now."
That's their culture. That's
and that's what they've grown up thinking. Like,
Yeah.
when you're at 70, you're supposed to be crippled and all of that.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, get this. There's a
And
guy.
then when they see like some foreign guy, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy does yoga or some like voodoo shit."
Yeah.
And like we look at fitness as some sort of foreign object.
Yeah, it's not our priority, and that's the problem. And and the thing is too, there's this guy. His name's Art Divani.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the godfather of the paleo. I think he's like 73 now. He wakes up every morning and like pulls his Land Rover in his driveway.
Yeah, just to.
At his age.
What do you mean pulls it up?
He ties a rope to the front of his car, stands there,
What?
and pulls the Land Rover.
73?
He's 73.
Jesus Christ. I can't.
Now
do that
here's
now.
the thing.
How big is he?
He's probably 190 pounds.
Shit, son. Dang.
He's bigger than me.
Yeah.
He's ripped.
Yeah.
He's got muscle mass. Here's the thing. Why? He's got protein.
Animal, that's why.
He's got protein consumption, and he's got everything he needs, and it's all from food sources. No supplements really. I think he takes a few supplements that are natural.
Maybe like an omega-3 or.
Yeah, something like that. Like if anything, but he basically the whole point is too. The big thing that he's stuck with is fast switch training. So he does a lot of sprinting. The number one thing that fast switch muscle fibers are responsible for,
Testosterone?
and nope, guess. Okay. You gotta guess. Fast switch. For
So
old
like
people.
explosion.
For old people.
For old people?
Number one thing. He's got another no.
It's probably close to
It's
this.
balance and mind connection.
With
Like stability.
Okay.
Stability. If you ever go to do this, go to like your local mall, and if you see like old couple, see how long it takes them to get into their car.
Yeah.
Like these are things that we take granted for, but honestly, at that age, these people they've diminished their muscle fibers. You know.
Yeah.
They have no
And
stability.
they rendered it just to be like, oh, it's just old age. I'm
Yeah.
going as if it's normal to be
Yeah,
like
if
this.
it's normal, yeah, and then we look at everyone in Hollywood. Oh, 30 is the new like 15, or like
Yeah.
like 50 is the new 30, right?
Yeah. All
Well,
that means is
They're taking care of themselves. A lot of them are,
yeah.
right? But we only look at those people as people that take care of themselves. We
Well,
don't.
they have people to take care of
They
themselves.
do, but we don't look further. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy. Long story short, Art Devani, his son, when he was born, type 1, I think it was type 1 or type 2, I can't remember which one is from birth, diabetes. He did everything in his power to figure out what the problem was.
Yeah.
And from his research, I mean, he's an economics major.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a dietitian or whatever.
Yeah.
From what he found was that everything in your body is based on digestion. Nothing else. Nothing more.
Yeah.
So
Because it's just
that
fuel.
So everything that gets digested
Mhm.
does something. Hormonal, physical, chemical, all those things, they equal to something. And that's where you get all those allergies. That's where you get things like gluten not working with
Yeah.
the body. Those kind of things.
Do those develop at birth? Like something like a peanut allergy. Do they develop at birth? Do you know? Or is it?
That's for a doctor to decide.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure. I mean, again, the whole genetics thing. I believe things can be broken.
Mhm.
I mean,
To
good
an
genetics
extent.
make
To an
good
extent.
genetics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of obese people that have kids. They usually
Yeah.
turn to be more obese.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, the one study that I've read is a good thing for parents even. I think it's up till the age of 14. Kids can decide their fate in the sense that you can manipulate your fat store size, like your lipid size.
Yeah.
So that's your fat tissue. So if you're very active throughout your life when you're young, so this is the
It'll help you in
parents.
the future.
This is the
Yeah.
parent. All parents,
Yeah.
right? You're obviously not going to let your 5-year-old go outside, and I don't think he's going to have the mind to be like, oh, Dad, I'm going to go do some chin-ups, right?
Yeah.
Or play soccer,
Yeah.
So if you keep them active at a young age,
Mhm.
you're going to help them out.
That's true.
But you see how our culture is changing.
Yeah.
Before it used to be like, oh, come inside, it's dangerous outside. Now you can't get them to go outside,
Yeah. Exactly.
And the thing is,
It's fear mongering again.
and the thing is,
And then we have to have stiffer gun control because we're all scared that somebody's gonna kill us.
well, that's
Yeah.
more of a problem in the States. I mean, Canada's got more guns than any country in the world per person.
Per person? Oh,
You see us shooting each other?
no, not at all. Yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, yeah, we do have gun crime. I mean,
Yeah.
Toronto just had witness stuff, but anyhow, back to, I mean, I think we've lived the American dream without the violence since
Yeah.
like the 1800s, so we're lucky. But back to like the whole kid thing is like there was a report I think 2 years ago just now.
Mm-hmm.
Even in Canada, kids will not live past their parents that are at that state now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
Yeah.
problem. That's a big problem.
Because they developed a culture that says, okay, well, this is how it's gonna be normal, and then they just lower the standards
Yeah, I mean,
for the next generation.
for the best thing to do in life, and I think, and I'll take this for everything I've just said, is to take what you want and make it better for yourself. I mean, and again, everything relates to fitness, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the most successful people on earth are very fit people. A lot of them. I mean, if you do your research,
Yeah.
there's a lot of billionaires that are very fit people,
Yeah.
and they believe in that. I mean, one good example. I mean, I don't know if he's a billionaire. He probably is now. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken everything in life related to fitness, but steroid use. But that's, but I mean, but you see how
Yeah.
that this, everything drives him,
Yeah.
And I think there was another study too, and
There's an ideology you can take from weightlifting to your
yeah,
real
I mean,
life.
it's basically like like the whole like the monks and everything like that. It's a form of discipline.
It's a focus.
It's a form of discipline. I mean, would you rather
Working out is a religion. Basically.
It's not really well. It can be a religion to some, but I mean, just
You can
be
work out religiously.
Be something that you take pride in.
Yeah.
More-
You can develop
Yeah.
that.
I mean, give yourself 3 months. If it doesn't work out, don't quit. Seek help.
Yeah.
Where you don't see where you could get, where
Yeah.
you know what you can do. Really,
Yeah.
the knowledge is not there for you. You don't know.
Yeah.
Seek advice.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do. But I'm telling you, the cool thing about working out is, the first month, you see ridiculous gains.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there's no perfect program.
Yeah.
But what happens to your
Your
body?
Your
when-
body's like, oh, I'm waking up now.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'll attain a lot of good gains.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So, if you stick to it, you'll hit plateaus. You will. But when you start out, there's no plateaus really.
And going to culture, you talked about how we've been moving towards more like convenience, right?
Yeah.
We've been looking for the easy way. Sometimes that's a good thing. When we're looking at like for like say meals, right? We should like how do you package your meals so it's more convenient for you? How do you?
I look at it this way with meals. You can't have the same thing every day. You're gonna lose your mind. I mean, in the sense that
you can't have brown rice and chicken every day.
Every
right?
day, and I mean, there's so many visual things when you leave your door, even your TV, that tempt you or influence you to do other things. I mean, if you see that burger on that bus ad, and if you had rice and chicken for 5 days,
yeah,
you're gonna be like, "What the hell with this?"
Exactly.
So you really have to, and like I said, with the whole culture thing, is make time for it. You're not gonna prep all your meals in one day. I mean, your chicken's gonna go bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So you really have to
set time aside.
Set time aside. Do your research. What kind of meals you like.
Yeah.
Let's say you have like 5 meals for the week. Don't make those every 5 days are those gonna be the same meals. Try at least once a week to add a new meal to that. So it just makes everything more fun, you know.
And I know you talk a lot about quinoa, so and a lot of times you eat it for like what kind of meals can you make with quinoa?
Quinoa, you can make a salad out of it. I mean, you just put some olive oil, which is healthy oil, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know. And then you can put, I don't know, whatever you want, like tomatoes, cucumbers, salt, pepper.
It's
So
like
mix
it's
it
a
up.
grain sort of thing. It's like kind of like a rice.
It's got like a whole wheaty rice flavor to it.
Okay.
If that's the best way to describe it. I mean, if you don't put any olive oil, it's got like a weedy taste.
Do you have to cook it?
Yeah, it's cook it.
Like
it's
boil it.
just like rice.
So boil it and.
For every cup, it's 2 cups of water.
Okay.
Put a lid on it.
Yeah.
Once it comes to a boil, let it simmer on low. That's it. Once the water's gone, it's good to go. I mean, you could also make pasta with it. It's great for pasta. I mean, you boil the quinoa. You don't add anything to it. You make your meatballs. You make your sauce. You put that on top. There you go.
Is it good for like a side too? I guess you can use it.
Yeah, you can use it for anything. I mean, they make cookies out of it even.
Oh, cool.
It tastes amazing.
Yeah, I know that. I just went to like a Shoppers Drug Mart and I saw like a whole magazine rack and like you know how they have like cookbooks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a whole rack of just like quinoa recipes. And I was like, wow, this thing's really picking up.
It is picking up because it's for a lot of people it's a fad.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's true.
there's always a food that will be a fad, and that's where everyone goes wrong.
Like soy. Soy used to be a fad. Yeah.
You just
you have to be careful.
You have to in life. You have to know what you're doing, not go with what people are doing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's when like people come up to me like, "Oh, did you do the new P90X? Oh, did you see that?" Educate yourself what you're doing, not what everyone else is doing. If you could become like, I don't know, ripped in like 8 weeks with like a bigger chest, and you did like tree climbing, and then I tried tree climbing and I don't get anything.
Yeah.
It really work out for me, right?
Yeah. I see a lot of times with like those pull up, you'll see like on YouTube, like, oh, I lost like 50 pounds from just doing like pull ups and stuff like that. You know what I
then
mean?
people go out and do the same thing and then they don't get results.
Yeah.
That's where you have to be like, okay, what works best for me? What do I like? What will I do? And how do I work it in with everything?
Yeah.
Right? And that's where you can move forward.
And that's where that motivation comes in.
Yeah.
So how do you personally, how do you motivate yourself?
How do I motivate myself?
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Okay, well, look, give me some examples.
When I have a big workout, I know I can have good food.
Yeah.
I love food.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah,
okay?
So
I can have a little extra food. I love food.
You'll be working for that food.
Number 2, you feel good after a workout. If there's a workout you're not feeling good at, you have to see me because there's a problem with your workout.
And
is a serious problem.
And it's not an excuse to eat shitty just because you're working out now, obviously.
No, because if you eat shitty, you're gonna work out shitty.
Yeah.
Shitty meets shitty. They
Yeah.
work together. Good and
Yeah.
good work together. Shitty and shitty, they work together. They're the best teams.
Yeah, exactly.
What goes in comes out. Okay, and I mean that in your performance.
Yeah.
So, what kind of meal did you have today? And how many times?
Didn't eat.
Okay, let's say how many times did you eat today?
Maybe like once.
Once? Like a breakfast? What do you...
Yeah, I just had eggs.
Eggs? Okay.
And you think your eggs are still in there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that's you need about 2,000 calories to maintain like a natural state.
Yeah.
I don't think eggs have that many calories. If they did, I'd probably be the biggest guy on the
I
planet.
tend to skip more meals than eat more meals.
Yeah,
I know it's not good, but
It's convenience, right?
I guess so. It's just
Yeah.
that there's nothing in my house and I don't really want to
It's
go
true.
out and buy something.
It's true, because we're university students, right? So you have to...
the thing to help you out with prepping is to decide what you like, what you can prep. Like, I mean, you're not gonna prep like a wrap and put it in a container.
Yeah.
It's gonna become like
Mushy.
chicken fiesta.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta prep food that you can take with you. I mean, set aside a lunch bag. I mean, we all went to like elementary school. We all took lunch, right?
Yeah. Dust that off.
Yeah, like, you know, you're not a loser if you're not buying your lunch either,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, you didn't buy your lunch. Oh, he's bringing his lunch, right? Just bring the damn thing.
Yeah.
Make it, bring the damn thing. Quinoa, 2 cups of it lasts you a day
All right.
or more. You will last you 4 days. Okay, me will last me half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, but basically, pick foods that have that shelf life for the day, in that respect, right?
Yeah.
If you have a fridge on campus, use it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, even if you cook your I think like chicken, you can take.
Mm-hmm.
If you take it, and you have to like time your days. Like, how long are you here today? Like for
School. So on an average day, we're
on
probably here
average,
maybe 5 hours, 7 hours,
6
hours.
okay, that's easy. You eat before you go. You come here, you have one meal, and you have a meal before you leave. That's it. You've had 3 meals in the span of about 6 hours.
And you would have, I would assume you'd have that meal and then you would work out or whatever, or would you work out and then have that?
Well, with eating prior to a workout and eating after a workout,
Meal?
they're both very important. So you'd have a specific food for pre-workout. So if you're not dieting
Yeah.
or of any sort, you can have like a carbohydrate with a bit of protein, right? Before your workout, like 15 minutes before.
Mhm.
After your workout, have that.
What would
have
you recommend?
have
like
have
a
the
food?
well. You need protein obviously after.
Like what food would you recommend for like a pre-workout thing
Pre-workout.
with that carb and
Well, it
protein?
depends. Like I usually have like something like an apple that has
Just-
sugar in it as well,
yeah.
right? Just get that boost,
Yeah.
but I'll never crash on it, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, it's usually just fruit.
Fruit.
Really?
Yeah.
Fruit like that. I never eat citrus though. Citrus like it affects your pH balance too much.
Like orange or lemon.
Yeah, like you can have that pre-workout, but don't have it after a workout because that's when you want to like
Yeah.
absorb your protein. And again, pH balance is not good for absorption. You can have it later on, like for your vitamin C, sorry, not calcium intake. So do it then. I mean, you can have a carrot with like an apple before a workout. Boom, you're ready to go. You don't even need that like.
That meat or whatever.
Well, you can have a bit of protein, like
Yeah.
very little. You don't want to be overkilling yourself. And again, with a carrot, you're not gonna have like a carrot that's like
Yeah.
that Godzilla left behind, right? When he visited Earth, and like you don't want to have like those apples you find that are like massive, right?
Exactly.
But basically that, and after a workout, once you're done, you get your protein, you get
Get
your carbs,
Get your meat, whatever.
yeah, your veggies, and meat. You can pick anything really. I mean, it all relates to what you really like.
Would you have carbohydrates after the workout?
Yeah, have a bit of carbs.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you depleted your stores, right?
I've heard for people that are bulking, sometimes they'll eat like white bread or like gummy bears just to get that instant spike after that workout.
Okay, you tell me what has more nutritional value, an apple with a carrot or white bread and gummy bears?
Gummy bears, nah.
I know that, but like for bulking, do you? I wouldn't see that. Like when I read that
Again, like we talked about, like bulking, caulking, just
Yeah.
caulk, man.
clean.
Just clean it out.
All right.
You really don't need to, unless you're gonna fly out to Japan next week, then have all the white bread you want, because then you can sumo wrestle there.
Yeah.
Honestly, like once that gets into your body, there's really nothing done. And I mean, there was even a study this doctor did, I think, in the States with food, and he wanted to lose weight, and he did it all on like Twinkies, gummy bears, all that. Oh, he lost the weight.
Yeah, but that's all.
He had migraines like nobody else because there's no nutrients, there's no
Yeah.
chemical reactions in the body that are happening that are necessary for your body to sustain certain things.
Yeah.
You know, you'll lose weight. I mean, calorie depletion works, right? But your state of mind needs to
Weren't
be
we
there too.
listening to like a radio station? They were talking about how this girl got really skinny. It was like an actress, and then she was skinny, right? But she wasn't fit at all. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think I was there with you.
I don't know. Yeah, she went like on this diet where it was just like really like liquid diet, and she didn't have any nutrients in her body, but she was just losing the weight because that's all that they were consuming, right? That's all her body was consuming, right? Nothing. She's just consuming her own self. So she just lost the weight, but she wasn't fit at all.
Yeah, because what's happening there is just like carb cycling. Like I talked about how you're constantly eating nutrients that help maintain certain things, but you teach your body to eliminate certain things, which in case allow you to deplete fat stores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now in her case, she's depleting everything.
Yeah.
She's got no protein to maintain muscle.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's
that's gonna
gone.
make her unfit there, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's losing everything now. Like, I mean, muscles going down, skeletal structures going down. Because I mean,
her bone density.
yeah, because like even when you train a lot, in time your bones will get bigger. Slightly. I mean, you're not gonna have like by 5 years your bones aren't gonna be the size of your arms. But I mean, it does a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with everything, things grow, right? But in her case, she's lost like all the muscle mass on her body. So when she gets off that, she's at a point where everything she's consuming is turning into fat because there's no muscle to burn it.
Yeah, so it just gets out of the stuff that she really needs, but
Yeah, it's like
she's telling her body, "Oh, I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to be eating it." So then the body's like, "Oh, fine, then I'll shit it out."
yeah, it's like with obese people. If you're sedentary for so long,
Your body's
you're consuming for so much.
Your body's like, "I know what you want to do. You want to sit on your ass, so let me make your ass fatter."
In nicer words, in a nicer way to say it, you're basically like you're consuming excess calories, right? You got no muscle mass to burn this off. It's gonna be stored.
Yeah,
Simple as that. Right?
exactly.
So number one thing is be active.
Okay.
If you're active.
Now it all goes back to that first.
Dude, I think we only have time for one more question.
Okay.
Holy smokes! What time is it?
Is it 6?
It's been about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Time
So-
flies when you're having fun.
Now
I
a
didn't
lot
have
of
fun.
a lot of people.
Greg's been kicking me the whole time.
A lot of people, they gave up on their New Year's resolutions. So, number one thing to stay motivated. Let's go around in a circle.
Stay motivated.
Yeah. How do you stay motivated?
I don't know. I think for me, I just my mindset is just get that shit done. Show commitment.
Commitment
Is it?
for you? Just commit it. Just
Yeah,
verbally.
because I know if I do it, there's at least some commitment, and like that
Yeah.
translates to everything else.
So
That's
just get out there. Just get out there.
Just
for
get out
that
there and
first,
do it.
for that first try.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, for me, I was gonna say like keep just like a written journal of like your goals. That really helped me. For I think my bench was like maybe like lower than like 100 pounds when I started off in the summer. Do you remember that?
Damn.
Our goal was like 100.
I couldn't even bench.
Yeah, our goal for like the end of the summer was like 100, and then I kept on writing in my journal, and eventually my bench got up to like maybe like 140, 150 at one point. So yeah, so keep a journal and write down your weekly goals.
Me, it's face your fears.
Face your fears.
Why aren't you working out?
Yeah, just tell
It's a
yourself.
certain fear. There's a fear in everybody why they don't do a certain thing. Get over that barrier, and then you'll see that once in your life you can get to a certain point of physical, state that you've never been able to achieve. And I mean, once you get to that point where you can work out every day is the best day of your life.
Yeah. That's when you feel good.
There's no other high on earth than feeling great
That's
about
true.
your workout.
I always get
There's-
high after my workout.
There's nothing better than that. I mean, if
As long as you're in that mindset.
you're in that mindset, I mean, and I'll say one more thing, like we talked about. If you believe it, it will work.
It's
That's
true.
the only way.
Yeah. If you believe that you can lose
It's the
that
whole
weight,
thing with
you
that.
believe you can
It's the
bulk it
whole
up.
thing with that supplement thing. You believe
true.
those supplements work and you have a good
Yeah.
diet, it's that diet
Yeah.
that's going to be working
Yeah.
for you. Not really the supplements, unless you're got some good roids.
Yeah. So, all right. So, moral of the story: do roids.
No, Greg, not the moral.